Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to my tutorial series here on my Redstone Super Flat World. I am Joe BB from Joe BB3 from Joe BB3 Games, and welcome to this video. All right, let's get things started off. What I'm going to do today is show two things. One is the witch farm that I recently highlighted in my introductions video to show you a little bit of the insides, and a storage system that I promised to get a video out on. So let's get started. Whoa! This is just a little, well, this is just a little Grecian pool that I was working on. I was messing with some command block stuff. I was trying to get it to fill and empty all at once. So I just super fail. So super fail to push. There we go. I love how that does that. It kind of drains instead of just disappearing. And the boys down there start to suffer and die, but cruelty to animals is not my thing. So what I can do is come over here and push the button, and they're all swimming and happy again. Anyway, the commands for that are this, the location, fill with Minecraft water, and basically I just yank out the bottom layer, and or the source blocks at the top, and it slowly goes away. Okay, so let's start with the witch farm. Okay, here it is stripped down to its bare essentials. You can see that there's not a lot to it. The redstone is super easy. We'll just take the top layer here because the layers, just like most witch farms, are just rotated around so that you can fit the redstone in. Basically, you have your tripwires here, a couple of repeaters coming off the tripwires to a redstone line. The redstone line comes up and over to a redstone torch, which powers this hopper clock. You have one item in here going back and forth. You take a pick off from this hopper with a comparator into a repeater, and then you run the repeater down to the first set of sticky pistons, which move the floor. Right, all redstone repeaters going in there. Another redstone repeater, all of these are on one tick, comes across to the other side, and it powers the other sticky pistons. And that, my friends, is it. There are no cauldrons, there are no sticky pistons and pushes and so on and so forth. And if you fall down here, you see, well, I'm in between slabs, so I'm not falling, but the mobs would fall should they go in here. While the mobs are on here, the floors go back and forth. And when they come up, it stops. So if they came down and fell through the floor the first time, the floor would stop. That is it. You can take this line and this line, since it does emit light and you don't want it directly next to the spawning platform like I did here, in my witch farm out there on the Hope Springs server. I took this line and I moved it one block out here. And I took this line and I moved it one block out here. What that did was allowed me to completely encase this spawning platform in blocks. So there's no light getting in, except for a little bit of half slab light and such and so forth. But none of the redstone emits into the killing chamber, and it does a really good job. This one's going off, right? I'm in between planks, so I didn't fall. Players don't fall as like mobs do. We do fall, obviously. Now I'm gonna have to get into game mode 3. So I can get out of here. Oh, goodness gracious, what happened? There we go. All right. So, that is it. There are things you can do to like reset the platform and stuff. If you come up to this line here, if you make this a full block, this is what, spruce? Jungle. So if you make this a full block, you can put a button on here. I had a button, didn't I? Okay. You can stick a button right here and kind of do a floor reset. If you're worried, if this is all encased and you're not sure, you can create an input to these floors on the different sides, on the input side of the first set of hoppers, and create a reset button, which is fairly cool. And like I said, the resources required for this are next to nothing. Of course, you got to make a lot of non-sticky pistons, and you have to make a lot of repeaters. But other than that, some tripwire hooks. Other than that, this is a really compact design, and I'm really proud of it. It does a good job. Like I said, witches spawn in packs, so it doesn't matter that the entire floor is shifting. Doesn't seem to cause much lag on the server, and it's overall a really good design, and I'm proud of it. If you find it of use, or if you like the idea behind it and the very, very decreased amount of redstone, go ahead and use it. It's what I'm doing this for, is to give you ideas, so maybe you can make this even better. And I'll see your video, and I will give you notice for it. I'm not sure that we can make it any more compact than this, but it works really, really well, and it all fits in here. You have to do some creative half slabbing to get some of the redstone to go through sometimes, but as long as you get those lines to go across and activate the other set of hoppers, pistons, you are fine. Okay, so we'll move on from this, and we'll head on over to the storage room that I highlighted in my last server, tour, the introductions video on the JoeBB3 Games channel. And this is it. It sorts 2 items into 1 chest. Alright, so if you put in, let's see what we got here. Redstone. We'll take a stack of redstone here, and we'll stick it in, and have a light up there that shows the items are going up the dropper tower, which I'll show you in a little bit. There must have been something in the dropper tower, but the redstone is being sorted into this chest. And if we take a stack of redstone torches, I'm not going to put a whole stack in because you know, we got to move this along. That's the redstone going down. And then in a brief second, if we come over here and look, you'll see that redstone's finishing up going in. There should be about 10 or 15, depending on how many were in the hopper chain up there. And once the redstone stops, come on redstone, stop, stop. 1, 2, 3, stop. Good. There you go. Now you see the redstone torches are flowing in. So 2 items are indeed flowing into 1 chest. Now how do you do that? Let's go back and take a look. Over here, nothing special. Here's the input chest. Goes into a hopper line into this dropper tower. Now, recently, Doc M posted a silent hopper tower. If you look, escape, options, music and sound, all my stuff is where you should be able to hear it. I'll even move this up a little bit. And done. Back to game. And you'll hear this is completely silent, so I'm not sure why DocM was having a problem. Basically, you have the hopper going into your dropper stack, and then a torch tower going up next to it. If you heard there wasn't a click at the end like in DocM77, who, by the way, is an outstanding YouTuber and Minecrafter. He makes some fantastic videos. I've watched a lot of them. He is a hermit. But anyway, you take a comparator off of the bottom dropper, run it into a block, piece of redstone dust going into the input hopper with a redstone repeater set to no ticks, or 1 tick actually, and then on the other side you have a torch going into the same redstone repeater going into your torch tower. This delays the de-energizing of this redstone stack by 1 tick, and this locks out this hopper immediately once it senses, well, after 1 tick, but it senses immediately when the item is in here. So it locks out this hopper, keeps 2 items from going in here, and once it leaves, this goes dark, and then this goes dark. It allows another item in here. So if we put some in there, you'll see that that there is absolutely no noise. So DocM77, if you see this, this is how you create an absolutely silent, no clicking hopper tower. I'm sure I got this off some tutorial somewhere. I may not have. Maybe I just stumbled on something here, but this is it. Alright, so anyway, the items come in here. They hit the input line, and as I showed in my introductions video on my channel, the hoppers go here. They go like this. They serpentine around. Let me do that again. They go in here, come through here, like this, and that is how the items flow through the top hoppers. This is just the standard sorter, just like I said in my video. This is not my design, this sorter. I just used it as a means to my end. I have 2 of them, 1 on each side, and what they do is control the item that goes down into these chest input hoppers, and obviously the chest input hoppers are pointed into the top of the top chest, and it goes into this chest, down into this hopper, into this chest, and just serpentines around until it gets to the bottom and goes into the input chest, or the storage chest. Okay, so I have a little pick off here where I have a comparator that goes into a block, not into a lamp, but the lamp is sitting under the block. That way only 1 light lights. If you were to run that comparator into this lamp directly, more than 1 of these would light. Say if you put it into here, this lamp would power this lamp and this lamp, and you'd get 3 blinks. But if you run the comparator into this block, it only powers the lamp that you want to see. So there's a little tip for you. Let's see what else. Yeah. Okay, so hopper lock. Okay, so one drawback that this system does have is hopper lock. Down here I have a bunch of redstone torches, and they will refill themselves from these hoppers once they get full, and then these chests and so on and so forth. But if in this hopper or any of these hoppers you get all of 1 item, it will not allow the other item to fill in down here. So if you had some torches in this chest, but this was filled with redstone, and you pulled torches out, the torches would not refill unless later a redstone was taken out of the redstone stack was taken out of here. So with this storage system, you want access to the back of it. Don't encase it all. Give yourself a maintenance area that you can get behind it, and every once in a while come in here and just check your hoppers to make sure that there is at least 1 stack of each item in these hoppers as the chest stack starts to get full. But you can see it's a tileable design. You can put it for as long as you want. Now in my video, on my channel, I did say that I sorted more than 2 items into one chest. Over here, let's grab some of these. Let's grab some of those, and I don't know, some of these. And we will stick those. We'll do, say, about 16 or so of each, or whatever. That's fine. Oops. So we will toss in some nether quartz ore, some blocks, and some slabs. And we'll come over here, and you will see in a couple seconds, once the items make their way across the hopper chain, they're starting to come in. In here you can see here comes the unbroken ore. There's about 20 of those. And once those complete, you'll see we're starting to get the blocks. The blocks are flowing in now. A bunch of those will come in. You can see the light is, maybe that light, maybe I didn't hook that light up, we'll see. And something happened. The light stopped. Did I get some sort of lag spike? I don't think so. Did I not put in the slabs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are in. Maybe I didn't put in enough slabs. Let me put in some more slabs. Because I may not have put a stack. I may have only put 1. Let me only put like 10. There we go. In the hopper tower, depending on its height, every 5 hoppers it will retain 1 item. There's nothing I can do about that. There is, but I can't. And here you go. You see that the slab quartz are starting to fill in. So that is one drawback to that, but 1 item for every 5 hoppers isn't so bad. Okay, so let's come back. Now that we've seen that we've got this, what is that? That's 7 items I am sorting into 1 chest. That's just insane. And there are things that you can do. You can customize this storage system all that you want. Up here you can see that I have the standard sorter. You have the items that you want to sort in these droppers. There you go. And you can see down here I've configured this several different ways. On this side I have the output from this sorting system, the blocks and the unbroken stone, skipping the first chest. Or I'm sorry, no, it's just going into the sides of the first chest. It's not going into the top. That's reserved for the middle 2. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, in the middle here you have the ones going directly in the top. So I have 4 things being sorted into this chest. That isn't all you can do. Over here I've shown where say I want to ensure that I always have access to these blocks. And I'm not going to have chests and chests of them, but I just want to have them available all the time down in my bottom chest. I just ran a hopper chain all the way down here, and I made sure that it goes straight into this chest so that if these start backing up, this chest will always have the quartz blocks in here. There'll be no problem with hopper lock because it doesn't go into this hopper. It comes straight down here and into this chest. And also you can see it's the end of my chain here, so I created an overflow. There's nothing in the this is the last hopper, right? So it snakes back and forth and then goes into this. If it wasn't picked up by any of the sorters, goes into this, comes down here into a buffer chest so that nothing gets destroyed immediately, and into the buffer chest goes into a hopper that's locked out by a switch, and this hopper goes into a dropper and drops onto a piece of cactus to destroy the objects. Let's go ahead and unlock that, and you can see that those items were dropped down there and destroyed. Now I can lock this out so any overflow I don't destroy immediately. I can get the stuff out of here that I want, But if this thing gets full and I know that there's nothing in here I want, I can just flush it right here. How do I do that? I just basically, this block is powering this hopper, and the hopper doesn't allow the items to flow into it. And this is a little circuit that Mumbo Jumbo uses all the time. If you don't know who Mumbo Jumbo is, he is a hermit crafter. I will link to his channel down in the description. More than likely I'll just link to hermitcraft.com, where you can find his videos and all of the other hermits who I watch every day, because they really are fantastic. They do a lot of great stuff, and I really enjoy watching their videos. I will definitely link to hermitcraft.com in the video description. But this is just a little timer that is only kicked off when there's something in this dropper, and it dispenses, or is it dispenser? Yeah, dispenser, and drops onto this. Now, I did find something out the other day. If you use a dispenser here, it's not so good, because, okay, let's go in here and get some water, right? So if you take a water bucket and put it in here, and then you say, I don't want that water bucket anymore, I'll just get rid of it. You'll notice the water bucket gets hung in there, and it dispenses that water instead of dispensing the bucket and destroying it. Right? So a dispenser is not the best thing to use here. A dropper is what you need to use. Let me go ahead and demonstrate that real quickly. We'll get down here, get rid of that. We'll come in here and get a dropper instead. And we'll slap that dropper. Shift click on top, on there, so it's coming down. Let's go ahead and replace these blocks. And that one as well. If you're not familiar with cactus, every block around the cactus has to be open so that it can grow. It just sits there. It grows on itself, breaks. It'll never get any higher than that. But let's go ahead and put this water back in there. And when you click that, you'll see the water is dropped down there instead of dispensed. So if you're making a trash can, always use a dropper, not a dispenser, because things can get sticky if you try and delete a bucket of lava and you dispense it instead of drop it. So always use a dropper in your garbage cans. There's another tip from you. All right, so that is my innovation on the classic sorter storage system. I do not claim the sorters, the sorting systems. I just claim the method of which the items are stored in the chest. I think it's really, really cool, and I've never seen anything like it. If you have, go ahead and show me the tutorial down in the comments, and I'll go take a look, and then I'll give that I'll mention that person, but I did not see any tutorials on this. I have not seen anything like it. So this is my design. Whether it was duplicated by somebody else, I don't know, but this is 100% my design. Not the storing of the items. It's not the sorting system. If someone lets me know who that is that created this overflow protection sorting system, I will definitely link to their video in the description. I don't take credit for anything that isn't mine, and I will always give credit where credit is due. Alright, so let's come over here real quick. We're just about done with the video, but there are several ways and several options that you can use to sorting systems. Alright, so like this one here, instead of the dropper tower, I have an item elevator, and it's just shoved in by a dropper. But the cool thing about this one, let me get some blocks here. I already have some of these, but I just want to make sure. Okay. And let me come to this input chest and take a stack of these. Not a full stack. Let's go with a little less than a half stack, 16. Alright, so if you look, the items are dispensed and they're going into the item tower picked up by that hopper. Now watch the lights. Right? So you can see that items are coming in. I have a fix for this light up here. It's actually works, but it only works for it only work if you're putting redstone in. It works one behind. It just wasn't thinking when I put it together. There is a fix for that, and it'll show the item going all the way in. But let's go ahead and put in some redstone, just 12 or so. You'll see the items coming up the item elevator here. Good. And if you watch, it shows that it's going across and down into this chest. That is really, really cool. And it's all in the way that I set up the chest behind. I love compact storage systems. This is another compact design that I'm sure has been duplicated, but this is my creation. I did not use the overflow protection here because it is not necessary, because these are not connected. Right? The only way that a storage system will overload is if the redstone can reach one of the droppers or one of the storage systems next to it. These aren't connected, so you don't require the overload protection. But this is how I put the chest stack in here. I put a chest here going into a dropper, into a chest, into a dropper. So it goes around sideways and it's stacked up against a wall rather than out. It's next to it. And what this allows me to do is take comparator pickoffs from all of these. I can come over here because this one's the same thing. It's just more visible. I can take comparator outputs from all of these storing hoppers, and that runs into a block that's right next to a light. So when you get an item in this hopper, it lights that comparator and lights that light, so it gives you that nice little indicator. Drawback to this design is that it takes a 3 slot, right? Since you're stacking these chests sideways, it takes 3 spaces, and it's tileable every 3, vice every 1. So I won't go much into that, but I will show you here. Here's a couple of cutouts where it shows you this is the storage level, right? The very bottom 2 layers of the storage system, right? You can see here the chest and the dropper going into the storage chest. Nothing complicated. And this is all of the layers on top of it. These 2 layers are stackable on top of here for as high as you want to go. You could create a storage stack this tall, right? So this is it. You just go, I'll just give it a little walk around here. There's nothing hidden. That's just a block in the middle, so there's nothing in the middle that you can't see, right? This is the front. You come around, you have some hoppers going back and forth into the chest, and that. I thought I had the top portion, but I don't. But it's nothing. It's just the top portion is just the stack portion with an input line. It goes into the side of it instead of into the top of it. I'm sure that you could mess around with this design and make it 2 items per chest, but I built this before I invented the multi-chest, multi-item sorter, so I haven't messed with that. Maybe I'll do that in the future. But with this system, what I did was I created my massive storage array, and I want to take you in there and take a look at that, because it's really a thing of beauty. I love this thing. I have it on a few of my worlds. I'll admit they're my just own solo player world, so I don't recreate it each time. I use MC Edit and I slap it into the world someplace, because this took forever to create the first time. But you can see it's got a grand entrance, some water features coming down the side. I'll speed it up a little bit. It's really grand. I love this thing. And you can see I have tons upon tons of these things in my huge storage warehouse. This thing is a beast. It's 3 long hallways. I think it's 274 individual items can be sorted into this monster of a warehouse. I cannot imagine. If you want to sort every storage item in the game, you'd have to make it bigger, but I can't imagine ever wanting to store more than 274 items in large hopper stacks. This thing is just monstrous, and at the very end it has the unsorted overflow where anything that doesn't go in here comes down after finally making the long journey down there, around the corner, back down, all the way down the other end, and these lights follow it the whole way. So if I put in something, say, that doesn't normally get sorted, like these, right? You'll see. Get those out of there. Oh, duh. That's not the input. The input is, that's the very first chest. I used hay bales before I knew about renaming the filler for the sorting systems. I used hay bales, so I wanted to make sure that hay bales never made it into the system and devastate my sorting system. So I made the very first one hay bales, so it keeps them from going in. But let's go in here, and here's the input line coming into this massive collage of hoppers and repeaters, and oh, it's just insane. I did create this in creative. I did not mine all these resources, but that doesn't make it any less fun to take a look at. So let's put those in the input, and you can see that the lights are starting to show where that there's something going into the input. Comes around the corner. In another one, I've added lights here, but just so you can see it go all the way around. But you can see it's going to go all the way around. It's going to make a long journey. I get some slimes down here because I built this a little too low. If I had built this above 40, it wouldn't have spawned slimes down here. But this is my massive storage array. I just gave you a quick rundown. If you look online for the tutorials on the sorting system and follow what I showed you here, you can make your very own. And as always, I am Joe BB3. I really appreciate you coming to see my video. If you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing and leave me a like. Right now I'm actually talking to no one because I think maybe I have one subscriber, but they're my friends from my server, so while they do count, I kind of expect most of them will subscribe. But I'd like to get a couple outside subscribers. I'm not doing this for money. I'm not doing it for fame. I'm just doing it because I've got some thoughts on this wonderful game, and I'd like to share them with you. So it's just a hobby, and thank you for coming by, and have a nice day.